is a beautiful Thursday morning right here in the ancient city of Benin, and it's my pleasure to have you join me on yet another lovely episode of your ultimate breakfast current affairs program on television. And I'm talking this morning on ITV TMI, reaching you live from our Benin studios. Now, a whole lot is happening in our country, and it is very pertinent that we beam our searchlight on some of those topical issues dominating our socio-political space. My name is Harry Aigboje, and it is my pleasure to have you join me on this episode of the show. Now, of course, right here in our Benin studio, there's a whole lot to talk about, but of course, it's not just going to be here. We're going to be interfacing with our Lagos and Abuja studios as well, where Ikaru Atta and of course Patricia Gabriels are on standby to, do justice to the topic for today. Now, first, let me see what Patricia Gabriels has for us right there in our Lagos studios. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, Harry. How you doing?
I'm good.
And happy 29th year celebration.
Absolutely. Happy 29th year anniversary to you. All right, so what do you have for us?
So from Lagos, we'll be looking at
Go on.
We'll be looking at 2027. Elections are around the corner, so we're focusing on Lagos politics. Is there godfatherism in Lagos? Who becomes the next governor of Lagos State, or who becomes the next anything in Lagos State? Is it handpicked, or it is decided by the people of Lagos State? That's what we'll be looking at here from Lagos.
Indeed, godfatherism is a very serious issue, and it has, ravaged our political space for a couple of years now, and we're hoping that you guys are able to do justice to it right there in our Lagos studio. Now, let's see what Ikaru Atta has for us right there in the seat of power. Good morning to you, Ikaru.
A very wonderful morning, Harry Aigboje. Your cap look like one of those caps I know that the outgone Minister of Power, Adelabu, used to wear. But indeed, I know you can guarantee us within broadcast our power supply this morning. But just on the lighter note here, from the Abuja end, we'll be looking at some discourse around the StarTimes satellite service, as well as the issues surrounding the alleged coup plotter. Yesterday we saw their wives crying and weeping when they were brought to the Federal High Court in the Federal Capital Territory here in Abuja, and we'll be explaining that issue of the alleged coup plotters and all matters surrounding it. And like someone raised, the wives were all crying yesterday. If it is true that they actually plotted the coup, those women are the ones that will likely emerge as first ladies of various states if their husband were appointed as sole administrators or military administrators, the one they call Milan. We'll look at that here on the platform and several other discussions as they unfold, Harry.
Funny enough, that's one of the issues we are also going to be examining, if time permits, right here in our Benin studio. Now, talking about the planned exit, or should I say the, he called it a resignation of the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. He's set to resign from his position in the coming days, following a high-level meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Now, the development was confirmed in a statement issued by the Minister's Special Advisor on Strategic Communications and Media Relations, Tunji Bolaji, after the closed-door meeting, which was held on Tuesday. Now, I would like you to respond to this, Patricia. Some persons have been saying, well, this has to do with his political ambition. I understand he's planning to run for governor in his state. And others are saying, well, the president is tired of him and wants to get rid of him. Now, what's your take?
Well, Harry, he actually came out to say he was resigning because he wants to run for governorship in Oyo State, in his state. That's what he said. But some persons in Nigeria are saying, you left us in darkness and you're resigning. I mean, it wasn't the right time for you to resign, because across the country, there's been no power, there's no, the true way is in darkness. I want to use my house as contact in this discussion. For the past 1 week, I have not had electricity from the power section. I've been powering my house myself, and then you just wake up one day to say you're resigning. And this is your Nigerians that in 2 weeks you were going to fix the lights. I mean, the light issues will become past tense. And in between the darkness and the 2 weeks, you decided to resign to go run for your for governorship in your state. Well, that's it to us as the public. But from the presidency, I think rumors have it that the president was so tired of him with all his excuses from not helping in the power issues. So I guess, well, I can't place my hand neither here nor there. But the one I know it's for sure came out to say he was resigning to go run for governorship in his state or your state.
All right, Ikaro. The minister is planning to leave at a time when Nigerians are literally struggling to survive.
Most times the president, the presidency can be a little bit dangling here, but like the press statement that was issued 24 hours after the sack of the Minister of Finance and his housing counterpart, now debunking that they were not sacked, they resigned. I asked a question yesterday at the State House. How come it took 24 hours to tell us that these men were not sacked? They were fired for lack of performance. The economy is not doing very well. The housing sector is also not doing very well. And occasioned by the economy not doing very well, Wale Edun was sacked. And occasioned by the fact that the housing deficit in the country is increasing, maybe the president asked himself, why will I keep a minister of housing when indeed the homelessness appears to be on the increase? And for Adelabu, the power minister, it was long overdue. The last time President Bola Tinubu reshuffled his cabinet or sacked some persons, 3 days before that sack, we had national grid collapsing twice in 3 days. And when the sack came, Adelabu escaped. And many asked questions, why sack all these smaller ministers and leave the one that ought to be thrown away for long? Everyone was certain that Adelabu was due to go. Last 2 weeks, when the report came out, he denied that no, he wants to really fix the power sector. He is not going anywhere, he's determined. But it got to a point that, hey, guy, they told him, hey, you are fired. And whenever they say you are fired, they come and quickly appeal, please, allow me to write my letter. That's what happened to the former IGP Egbetokun. The news broke that he was sacked. We all reported that he was sacked. We were told that he was sacked. Only for, in the evening, for us to see a statement in the evening that he has resigned, even when some person had confirmed that he had been fired. And it's a common trend these days. Once they sack you, you quickly go on your knees and beg, say, please, just give me the honor and tell the world that I resign. And they will not come and say, okay, you resign. The president wish you well in your future endeavor. Which endeavor? When there is darkness, look at what Patricia raised. 1 week, no power supply. The same thing for me. The same thing for Harry Aigboje. The same thing for our cameramen behind and those behind the console in the master control room. The same thing for ITV that spends so much on diesel and spends so much on solar installations. And here you have the power minister who is saying he wants to go and control the ancient city of Ibadan, run and control your state. You're asking the question, what are you going to do there? You failed here woefully. No power at all. Then you want to go to Oyo and give them what they call in the scripture outer darkness. We watch and see if those in Oyo will allow him to come. Because for us who live here and do not see power, the question is, what will Adelabu be giving? What will you even tell them when you are going to campaign? Your credential is darkness, nothing. Then you will stand before them and tell them, maybe like what Lia Limoke said, you say it is sabotage. Who don't want this country to work?
Situation in the country. Now let's take a look at the issue that you are going to be focusing on right there in Abuja, Ikaro. The arraignment of 6 suspects over allegations of plotting a coup to oust President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, I understand that one of the persons that have been arraigned is a former governor of Bayelsa State, Timipre Silva. Now, what do you make of that?
I think Timipre Silva was arraigned in absentia. He wasn't there. And we know for sure that somehow he may not be coming from everything.
Why do you think he may not be coming?
When President Muhammadu Buhari came in, she had to just stay put in the United Kingdom, although something's led to something, and today she's facing charges there. We hope that the judgment will be coming up this weekend or within next week or two. That is on the one side. But I don't see Timipre Silva coming forward. His name has been mentioned I know some persons around him were picked. His houses were ransacked here in Abuja. But the cardinal thing is the information at our disposal appears to be sketchy, with the family crying that this man did not do that, with the federal government saying, okay, there was a coup. We know for sure that the defense minister, who was the former defense chief, Christopher Musa, had granted a media interview where he said this guy actually plotted coup. To what extent was the coup plotted? Some were also asking questions, how come that those who plotted the coup were largely working in the office of the National Security Advisor, and the NSA himself appeared not to be asked any question or whatever happened around. I think it's something that is unfolding. Some media houses, according to what the family of the Akupists allege, we are being sponsored to carry stories, paid to carry stories, which they term classified, but nothing classified about it, where some sources, according to them, in government cycle, give them report to write to tarnish the image of their beloved father, son, and loved ones. But it was a drama that played out yesterday. We saw widows crying, we saw family, well, not widows, wives crying, family members crying, hugging their loved ones and all of that. They've been able to see them after months of incarceration. It's something that will follow. ITV will be staying put on it, will follow it through the process to the end. It's a civil court, not a military court martial here. So it will be something that will likely, very likely, outlive, even if Tinubu got a second tenure, it may outlive the president's second tenure, except they granted speedy trial. And even in speedy trial, people may likely go to the appeal court, to the first appellate court, which is the appeal court, and the last appellate court, which is the Supreme Court. But I know it's something that will be following for a very long period of time. But for now, politicians yesterday at the National Assembly, we are busy defecting. And Harry and Patricia, it was like a salad yesterday. Some we are going to the ADC, some we are going to the APC. They are just mixing it up like the salad with a nice political salad cream.
A salad indeed. Of course, and like he also said, we seem to have a very long way to go as far as this particular arraignment issue is concerned. Now, let me get your reaction to this, Patricia.
Well, Harry, I really don't have much to say, because for the coup plotting, it's, should I say, a private information, because I really don't have the information at hand. We just heard this allegedly. And yeah. As a military man's daughter, I know that coup plotting is a very serious matter. Yeah. And I have been trained that you don't talk about what you don't know. So I really don't know how, if there was actually a coup plot, or it was just an information that, you know, lead to the presidency. Probably they were planning it and never had it done. I really can't say any of this. So like Ihorat has said, we will be looking at the unfolding incident as it comes up every other day. We hope the trial comes soon.
Yes, we hope the trial actually sees the light of day. And I want to say a big thank you to Patricia Gabriels and, of course, Iharuata in our Lagos and Abuja studios. Well, it's still TMI on Independent Television. We have to go on a short break. When we return, it will be time to take a look at some of the stories making the rounds on our national dailies. Please stay tuned.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Onwa is rich in culture and traditions. The people are a mixture of traditional worshippers, Muslims and Christians. Onwa is located at the northern part of Edo State. It consists of two local government areas, that is Onwa West and Onwa East. It has a total number of 13 clans and 21 political wards, according to National Population Commission 2006 census. The population of Owan people is put together at 251,686. The people love tradition and culture. Historically, the people
back. It's still This Morning on ITV, and it's time to take a look at some of the stories making the rounds on our national dailies. Now, let's take a look at the Leadership newspaper. And on the Leadership newspaper, the screamer here says, court fixes April 27th for trial as 6 alleged coup plotters deny charges. Court fixes April 27th for trial as 6 alleged coup plotters deny charges. Now, that's a serious one, just like we were examining a moment ago before we went on that break. And that can be found on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. And right under it, judge remands suspects in DSS custody. Now, this is getting really serious. Judge remands suspects in DSS custody. And right above the masthead, Nigeria's ambassador designate to Algeria, Lele, dies at 50. Nigeria's ambassador designate to Algeria, Lele, dies at 50. Now, that's on a rather tragic note, and it can be found on page 7 of the Leadership newspaper. Now, still on the Leadership newspaper, amid power crisis, Adelabu resigns, eyes Oyo governorship. Amid power crisis, Adelabu resigns, eyes Oyo governorship, and that's on page 23 of the Leadership newspaper. And still on the Leadership newspaper, Edun Dangiwa resigned, not sacked. And that's coming from the presidency. Okay, I guess that's clearing the air, because there have been controversies about whether they actually resigned or they were sacked. So the presidency is saying here that they didn't resign, they were sacked. And that can be found on page 7 of the Leadership newspaper. And right under it, Adamawa Guba, Senator Iya declares no retreat, no surrender in APC primary. Senator Iya declares no retreat, no surrender in APC primary. And that can be found on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. 2027, Amopitan urges prayers for Nigeria's stability. 2027, Amopitan urges prayers for Nigeria's stability. And that's on page 22 of the Leadership newspaper. And then finally, on the Leadership newspaper this morning, Angwa Rukuba killings. Plateau presses charges against 5 suspects. Angwa Rukuba killings. Plateau presses charges against 5 suspects. Now, that's a good one, and we're hoping that justice is served at the end of the day. Now, that's it on the Leadership newspaper. Let's now turn our attention to the Daily Independent. Okay, on the Daily Independent, the major headline here says, Atiku raises the alarm over ambiguities in Electoral Act. Atiku raises the alarm over ambiguities in Electoral Act. And then right under that, demands amendment to safeguard sanctity of ballot. Demands amendment to safeguard sanctity of ballot. Now, the question is this from a genuine place of concern or from a personal standpoint? Well, I guess that's for Nigerians to figure out. Okay, right above the masthead, Supreme Court reserves ruling in ADC leadership, PDP convention suits. Supreme Court reserves ruling in ADC leadership, PDP convention suits. And still on the Daily Independent, security situation improving, Boko Haram weakened. And that's credited to the federal government. Security situation improving, Boko Haram weakened. Well, that sounds like some good news, but we hope it's true, because isn't this what Nigerians have been yearning for? Security situation improving, Boko Haram weakened. That's coming from the federal government. And then still on the Daily Independent, Tinubu pledges to protect workers from economic ruin. Tinubu pledges to protect workers from economic ruin. And that's still on the Daily Independent newspaper. Right under that, restates commitment to worker safety and retirement dignity. Restates commitment to worker safety and retirement dignity. Okay, let's take a look at some other headlines still on the Daily Independent newspaper. Now on page 7, there is this headline that says, airlines demand total debt waiver as aviation fuel surges 300%. Airlines demand total debt waiver as aviation fuel surges 300%. That's a serious one. And then still on page 7, Nigeria's ambassador designate to Algeria dies in Turkey. Nigeria's ambassador designate to Algeria dies in Turkey. And then suspected coup plotters arraigned, remanded in DSS custody on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And then finally on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning, reps urge action to stabilize food prices and support farmers. Reps urge action to stabilize food prices and support farmers. And that's on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Now let's turn our attention to the Daily Trust. Now on Daily Trust this morning, 72-hour deadline. Borno families fear for 416 captives. 72-hour deadline. Borno families fear for 416 captives. Okay, now right above that headline, alleged coup plot. FG arraigned suspects. Trial begins Monday. Alleged coup plot. FG arraigned suspects. Trial begins Monday. And then we understand that the former governor of Bayelsa State, Timi Praise Silva, was conspicuously absent during the trial yesterday. Okay, now still right above the masthead, COVID-10, suspected cases identified in Cross River. COVID, 10 suspected cases identified in Cross River. Well, could we call this the return of COVID? Just when we thought that was done and dusted, here we are again, still talking about COVID. 10 suspected cases identified in Cross Rivers. Well, I guess that's a warning for everyone to be very conscious of their hygiene, okay? Ensure you continue to practice a safe distance, okay? Social distancing is still very, very important. Try to ensure that you protect your space. I guess that's what we were told back then when it was surging really seriously. And then still on the Daily Trust newspaper, Gbenga Hashim meets Falana, vows resistance to one-party agenda in Nigeria. Gbenga Hashim meets Falana, vows resistance to one-party agenda in Nigeria. And then under that, ambassador designates Lele dies at 50. And then on page 27 rather, Minister of Power Adelabu resigns. Minister of Power Adelabu resigns. And finally, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 19 people die in Edo Taraba road crashes. That's on the rather tragic note. We hope that things get better because people are getting scared of flying roads daily. Nowadays people even cancel road trips because of, not just because of accidents, but because of insecurity. Okay, so how can you be traveling and your heart is literally in your mouth? All right, let's now focus on the Guardian newspaper. And the screamer right here on the Guardian newspaper says, debate over security strategy as Senate demands rescue of 416 captives. Debate over security strategy as Senate demands rescue of 416 captives. And that's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And then right above the masthead, PDP ADC kick as Supreme Court reserves judgment in leadership tussles. PDP ADC kick as Supreme Court reserves judgment in leadership tussles. And that's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And then still on the Guardian newspaper, 6 suspected coup plotters plead not guilty to federal government's 13 charges. Trial begins April 27th. 6 suspected coup plotters plead not guilty to federal government's 13 charges. Trial begins April 27th. And that's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And still on the Guardian newspaper, INEC visits Labour Party Secretariat, verifies leadership documents. INEC visits LP Secretariat, verifies leadership documents, and that's on page 3 on the Guardian newspaper. Let's now take a look at some other headlines, and this one says, court ruling paves way for stricter consumer protection banking sector, and that can be found on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria records 4,200 weekly cyber attacks amid digital economic growth. Nigeria records 4,200 weekly cyber attacks amid digital economic growth, and that's on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And then finally on the Guardian this morning, Ndokwa protesters blockade Delta government house over decades-long blackout. Ndokwa protesters blockade Delta Government House over decades-long blackouts. Still talking blackouts. And that can be found on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. Okay, I guess that's it on the newspaper review segment of TMI this morning. I want to say a big thank you to you. Now we have to go on this very important break. Now, when we return, it will be time for our very first conversation for the day. Please stay tuned.
The land of Onwa is inhabited by the people with common ancestry, language, religion, economic and socio-political ties. However, irrespective of their subtitle differences in language and culture, they share common traditions. The people are known for their hospitality. Onwa traced their origin to Benin Kingdom as a result for a man to find a comfortable place for living. The name Onwa was derived from the largest and longest river in the area, which is known as Onwian or Onwa. It means one who makes merry in affluence.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Ugemobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yare.
Welcome back. It's still This Morning on ITV, and time now to take a look at the exit, or should I say the purported resignation of the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, and of course the Minister of Finance and Housing. Now, there have been lots of talking points surrounding this. Some persons are saying, well, this is the wrong time for him to resign. And some persons are even saying that he's not actually resigning, that there's more to the so-called resignation than meets the eye. Now, to join me in making sense of this is a social impact commentator and a public affairs analyst who goes by the name of Favor Sadzi. Welcome on board, bro.
Good morning again.
Good morning. It's good to see you. All right. What do you make of this? Let's begin to examine and unravel the purported resignation of the Minister of Power and, of course, his finance and housing counterparts. What do you think this purports for the polity?
I think, you know, the question is, what are his credentials? I heard he's resigning to go and contest.
Yes, and some people are saying at a time when Nigeria is literally struggling with incessant power outage, that this is not the right time for him to resign.
I think this is the right time.
You think so?
I think this is the right time because what's his role so far, other than increasing debt and expense for residents and business owners? You know, if you look at the nature of power supply, it has gone way lower than normal. I mean, this is the worst of all we've seen in a long time. I mean, judging by what I've seen, and there's no hope that it's going to even get better. How do you explain you were supposed to have not less than 20 hours power supply for the Band A sector, and you are having about 8 hours, and sometimes it crashes and there's no explanation. And there was a time last month when we even got a circular that there was going to be a 1 month power outage due to maintenance. And when this was happening, I even heard that at some point there was going to be protests here and there. But at the end of the day, what has changed? So his exit, I think for me, it's a great one. He should go and relax. But I don't know what he's going to be giving to the Oyo people. I don't know what his campaign mantra is going to be. If he's going to translate the darkness he has given Nigeria to Oyo, so be it for them. They'll be glad. But so far, so good. Even if they call themselves the ancient city or whatever it's called, they should not do it in darkness.
They should not do it in darkness. Now, what's the implication of this to the power sector? Because it seems to be getting worse by the day. I don't know about you, but in my own neighborhood, it's been crazy. You know, there's been no hope, you know, for power. Now, my question is, the fact that he's leaving now, isn't it going to, you know, tell negatively on the, you know, the power sector? Because the time frame that it will take to, you know, appoint someone else, you know, to take over from him, don't you think that's going to affect, you know, the system?
I think at the stage that we are now, we're supposed to run institutions that are independent of the individuals.
The individuals, okay.
So when we run systems that are not independent of the individuals, it creates this lacuna, which is the possible fears you have right now. But when there are tested and trusted structures, it's just going to be an easy transition. But irrespective of that, whoever is coming is still going to meet the same facilities, still going to meet the same organization. So it's more, there's more to just the transition process. I think they need to go back and rework the system, because power generation is not done by individuals with their bare hands. There are facilities for those. So not until those facilities are given due attention to run the quest that they have been assigned to, we will still keep recycling the same problem year in, year out. So it's not a matter of who is coming, it's not a matter of how long it's going to take. It's a matter of what the institution and the integrity is.
Okay, do you think the problem is with the institution or with the willpower to actually effect a positive change in the power sector?
You may not be wrong if you say it's the willpower. Yes, of course. I mean, there's hardly a state, apart from the hearsays we hear about Abia State, there's hardly a state that can tell you we have up to 20 hours power supply. So it's a general problem. So because it's a general problem, it takes a lot of political willingness to make this happen. Sometimes I get to ask myself, is it that the power generators, the DISCOs and the GENCOs somehow are in charge of supplying power banks? Are they the importers? Or because the way you see everybody going about with power banks now, in fact, it has even grown from power banks to power tanks. So we are doing so much to provide palliatives, but not solving the real problem.
Okay, now there is a school of thoughts, and I dare to call it a conspiracy theory, that there are some powers that be in the system that could pass as power brokers that do not want the power sector to work just because they are benefiting from the system. What do you make of it?
Just like you said, conspiracy theories. There's no smoke without fire. There's every possibility. I mean, this is capitalism. So every capitalist will do everything to have that economical advantage. Yeah. So it's not out of place, but that is where the institution of the government come in to protect the citizens from people like that. So if the government institutions are supposed to protect consumer rights and all of these are not doing their jobs, what you get is this. So every entrepreneur, every capitalist will take advantage. And if they have friends who are powerful, they will take the advantage of that power to make sure they make more money. So it's not out of place.
Okay, let's extend the conversation to the finance and housing counterparts. Okay, now there is should I say, a speculation that they were sacked. But they have come out yesterday to say, well, we weren't sacked, we resigned. But of course, the federal government has come to clear the air, saying that they were actually sacked. Now, why the, should I say?
Nigeria is a case of the more you look, the less you see. The more you try to explain the happenings, the more you get more confused. It's just some individuals trying to protect their ego and probably bow with honor, but it's pretty too late. So they can't have the soft landing that they are proposing. It has already dented their political image and their resume. So
do you think so?
But the
in
thing
a country where it seems like your reputation doesn't really quite count when it comes to.
I was coming there. Like I said earlier, the more you look, the less you see. We've seen people who have been celebrated from coming out of jail. I mean, a state parade was made in honor of their return. This is Nigeria. So in the long run, it really doesn't matter what has happened to them. You can still see them coming to run for offices tomorrow, and you see people will still gather behind them and support them, as far as they have the money to throw around and a few rice to share.
Rice. Now, some people have called this a government of rice. I mean, the way to get your way or to have your way is just give rice.
And some few tin tomato paste.
Okay, now, what do you think is being done in the Western world or in working societies that is lacking in Nigeria that you think is actually telling on the power sector?
One thing I think, and I'm very sure that have been done over time, is there are people who have sacrificed. People have sacrificed. We are not ready to make such sacrifices. Just like has been said, how many of these importers of these palliatives are ready to say, okay, let us just allow this thing work. Maybe it will be for the better. They are not willing. So as far as they are not ready to sacrifice those instant gratification for their whatever, we'll be here. I don't have the power to make the policies that would influence a lot. You don't have the power to make. We can only speak and talk about it. But if nothing is done, we'll still remain where we are. And like I always say around when I come around, we are too hungry to make decisions. And a hungry man is tired. So whatever you give to him, he will feed you. Like, okay, commonly said, he who pays the piper, dictates the tune.
Yeah.
We don't pay the pipers. So whatever music or tune we hear, we have to dance.
Okay, a quick correction. Actually, the presidency said that they resigned and not that they were sacked. They were the ones that claimed that they were sacked. Now, I would like to ask, what do you think, because some persons have actually been clamoring for the need to give the private sector a chance, you know, to have a say or to help salvage the situation in the power sector. Do you think that makes sense?
It would make a lot of sense. I mean, it will bring in competition, it will bring accountability, it will bring a lot of development, because look at the telecommunication sector. You see how the competition brought a whole lot. I mean, at some point you were paying by minute or so.
Yeah.
Before you know, there was a particular telecommunication brand that came and said, no, let's pay as you go. And before you know it, there was data. Before you know, a lot of all of this, you can even as low as subscribe to a small WhatsApp plan. This happened because there is room for competition. But when there is no competition, monopoly kills. It destroys a whole lot. So we are left at the mercy of whoever is in charge.
Okay, some people have actually attributed the purported resignation of the 3 ministers to some sort of political undertone. Do you see that?
There's hardly anything in Nigeria that is not politically motivated. Hardly. So time will tell what all of this is about. But for me, I know it's definitely politically motivated. It's just a matter of time. We'll see the facts. It will be bare before us.
Okay, well, it's still This Morning on ITV, and we're taking a look at the purported resignation of the Minister of Power, Finance and Housing. We shall be going on another break. When we return, it will be time to wrap things up on this segment of the show. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. It's still This Morning on ITV. TMI reaching you live from our Benin studio, and I still have Favor Sadzi right here, a social impact commentator and the public affairs analyst. Now, Favor, you made mention of the involvement of the private sector. Do you think that will, in the long run, impact positively? Because you talked about competition, which I believe the system actually needs. But in the long run, don't you think that's going to erode the influence of the federal government?
Okay, so far so good. What are the influence, or what are the advantages of the influence of the federal government? So if you look at that critically, then you can compare and contrast what we have to lose and what we have to gain. We don't have anything to lose. I mean, putting a large number of people to concern. It's a case of, like I said, we've already seen a system that it has worked. So it's just a case of replicating what has worked in this sector to another sector that is not working. It has not failed us in telecommunications. So why would it fail us now in power generation or supply? Let's test and see what happens, and then we'll know where to go from there. But so far so good. The pros outlives the cons.
The pros outlives the cons. Now, the Minister of Power is someone that has a political ambition. Is that supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing? Because you just said that if he uses this same criterion or this same standard with which he's running the power sector, if he applies it to his political ambition or his governance, if he eventually gets elected as the governor for your state, that it might not augur well. Now, what can you throw more light on that?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing because no employer of labor in this age and time would look at your credentials, your resume, and with so much holes or whatever inconsistency and still employ you. Nobody.
The Constitution actually allows him to run for office.
Just the same way every human, every citizen has the right to apply for a job. But it is the responsibility of the employer or the HRO to either accept or decline. So, you know, like it is always said, we'll get back to you. All your people should be ready to tell him we'll get back to you. He's not fit for the job. He doesn't have any credentials so far.
Who knows? He just might be able to deliver as governor. The fact that he couldn't deliver as the Minister of Power doesn't mean he doesn't have the
role
capacity.
of a governor is not different from the role that he's just leaving or going away from. What you do is manage resources. There was never a point where he took the wires and was joining them together.
Yeah.
All he needed to do was manage resources, the infrastructure and the personnel. That is the same thing he's coming to Oyo to do, manage resources. So the role has not changed. It's just the environment or the application that is going to change. He has not been able to do that there. So how would he now assure us that he can also do that here? So they say to whom much is given, much is tested. So at this point, he has been tested with so much, and the result is a big failure. So why are we sure? No, why are we sure? I am sure the story is not going to be what? Different.
Now, what you are implying is that he lacks the administrative
capacity
to deliver.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, what do you think is the way forward now? Because in all of this, his resignation seems imminent. There's nothing that can be done about it because he seems bent on, resigning as Minister of Power to pursue his political ambition. Do you think this is going to impact on the short term in the power sector?
Like I said, I feel those and the powers that be should just have pity on the citizens. That is all I can say now. They should just pity us, the citizens, because if they don't pity us, no matter whoever is coming there may be worse. We've seen a situation where a past president was telling us that if I go, you will miss me. We all thought he was joking, and we see what we have gotten so far. So let it not be a case of we'll not be missing this man that is resigning and say, oh, we wish he was there. I mean, you understand what I mean? So they should just pity us. I can't say more than that, because even if you tell them to do the right thing, they are not ready to do the right thing. If you tell them make the right change, they are not ready to make it. Has always been a case of square peg in round hole. But if they are ready to pity us, even with a square peg in round hole, we will still get something substantial and get the value for our money. What
would you say to Nigerians as the minister is planning to resign now? What should Nigerians expect from this resignation? There's nothing I'm expecting. Speaking on behalf of a vast majority of people, the same man that told us that as a minister of power, he has no power.
to execute. So he has already given up on his responsibility. So I cannot put any trust on him or whatever. We just want to be hopeful like we've always done, and pray and believe that something will turn around for our good. But the thing is, we on our own are not ready, because if you look at the lineup of people ready to take position after him, what are still the credentials of these people? That's the big question. So it's not a case of filling up the position that is going to be empty, but what are these persons going to bring to the table? That's the question. So if you bring someone that is ready to work, irrespective of the conditions, and as far as his responsibility or his result is based on accountability, something might come up. As much as there are accidents on this highway that we pass through, say people still travel, right? True. Against all odds. That is the kind of system we need people to put in mind. Where against all odds, we still want to do what needs to be done. Because if you don't move in the highway as a driver, your family is not going to eat. That's what we should be looking at. People who are accountable and responsible enough to do the needful.
All right, thank you very much, Favour Sadzi, a public affairs analyst and a social impact commentator, for your very brilliant analysis. And I'm hoping that the next time I call upon you, you will oblige me.
Always.
All right, it's This Morning on ITV, reaching you live from our Benin studio. We have to go on another break, and when we return, it will be time for our next conversation, which has to do with the arraignment of the former governor of Bayelsa State, on charges of, a coup plot, along with 5 other persons. Please stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
independent television. Now, the federal government has arraigned 6 suspects over allegations of plotting a coup to oust President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, the suspects were arraigned on Wednesday on a 13-count charge bordering on alleged terrorism. They all pleaded not guilty to the charges. Now, Nigeria charges 6 people, of course. One of the people that were charged is a former governor of Bayelsa State, who, was conspicuously absent yesterday. And the allegations of a plan to overthrow President Bola Ahmed Tinubu first surfaced in October 2025, when the government abruptly cancelled Independence Day parade. Now, 6 people in Nigeria, including a retired Major General and a 7th police inspector, have been charged with treason for attempting to overthrow the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I have joining me right now a political analyst and a legal practitioner, Barrister Awo Osage. Welcome on board, sir. Good morning.
It's a pleasure having me. Thank you, and hello, folks out there.
All right, sir. Now, this is a very serious allegation. All right. Now, how grave is this charge? How grave is this allegation against the backdrop of the law?
Thank you very much. Well, the law is the law, and it's what it is. So it's not about what anyone says. It's about what happened in court. Many a times we hear of allegations back and forth. Charges are preferred to or against whoever they so wish, as deemed fit by the enforcement agencies and or whatnot. So, but the reality is that issues begin to unfold in courts. We could say this happened, that happened. This is what we found out in the course of investigation. And arraignment is, or they are what we call prima facie, that is a clear-cut evidence linking that even makes it a criminal offense in itself, and for them to be culpable and they are arraigned, as it were. But again, that's still within the what do you call them? The enforcement agents and the investigating team, like you said, DSS now in their custody and all whatnot. So, but again, when you say someone has committed an offense, and then I don't think it's a media thing. It's only in Nigeria we hear so much of media back and forth, here and there, talking about it. You know how grievous it means to hurt the president of a country. It's not what should be noisy. It should be done more. I think we should imbibe a culture of operating more. Like they said, there's a secret service like that. It should be more internalized. And again, I discovered that we are arraigning people. One of them is not available. What's happening? So the big question is, what are they doing about that? So before you come out to the glare of public, you should have concluded and ensuring these persons are in custody. You don't tell me you don't have a capacity to bring whoever you want to bring. So these are some questions. It's looking political to me, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but the government have the capacity to ensure that whoever is to be arraigned is physically present. So wherever it is, they have not told us anything about it. They said it's conspicuously absent. Why will it be absent in a grievous and heinous crime of such as this? So that's the issue we should be looking at. Again, in court, the court will not just, it's not, if you have seen me, we must understand that the onus of evidence to be proven beyond doubt, it lies in the prosecution. Okay. You have accused me of wanting to oust the president from office. Okay, that's one. Then you have to tell court how did that pan out? How did I put it together? Is it because we had some talk?
So there has to be a strong evidence.
Obviously, it's beyond. You didn't get a word. It said beyond all reasonable doubts. Now, in other words, if you have over 95% of indication that something like that, and the court is not absolutely convinced, it will be thrown away. So, but again, I feel Nigeria has gone beyond that. We should have preventive crime other than waiting all the way. Okay, we'll say that it was prevented. We blow up a lot of things that are not. I see it as a distractive mechanism to the general public, because I don't see anything there. That should be handled. By the way, it shouldn't be what everybody is talking about. I don't even feel proud.
Don't you think the general public deserves to know the fate of someone as highly placed as a former governor of Bayelsa State?
Well, yes, they should know. But what I'm saying, he has not been convicted yet. Why can't investigation go quietly and the court process go on?
Okay, so you think
it should be played down. Because there are a lot of other issues that Nigerians should be talking about. We're talking of insecurity. How about those? We're talking of the president. In as much I love the president, everybody knows that I love the president. But again, the president is one person. He's a Nigerian. We're talking of several Nigerians being killed back and forth on the road. Nobody's talking about them like this. You know, we don't say, well, we say that's the number one citizen. I agree with you. But the other citizens, are they not supposed to be protected? So it's the duty of this enforcement agent to swing into action and ensuring that Nigeria is protected. And before it gets to the president, we should be able to have a workaround. What I'm saying in essence, I'm not saying what they are doing is wrong. Okay. I'm trying to say, you see, the attention and the paparazzi, the here and there talk about it, it's making it uninteresting, and it's making it look like a comic or something. That's how it looks something like. We've had it before. I was out in the country, and then I heard, oh, look at what happened, and I was wondering, and we are still talking about it. You know, politics, I've been here for so long, so I know how politics matters. Most of the time, it's always a political issue. Okay, we want you to come, and then when you repent in the morning, in the evening, we can serve you Holy Communion in church. So I think that's basically what it's looking like to me. Okay. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying, don't get me, I say to me.
To you, yeah.
To me, the way I'm saying it, because I've been here for so long. I know some persons that were tried. I know Sambo Dasuki and all of those charges here and there. You know, 2.1 billion, you know, money voted for security.
Nothing came out of it.
Nothing came out of it, but the man was kept back for 4 years. Probably look at the El-Rufai saga now. El-Rufai is there. I'm not a fan of El-Rufai, but I believe in the principle of law. If the law have said, let him go home, let him go home. Why letting him out and then you are picking him again? Then it's not setting a good precedent for us to see, and it's not making it look like the court is working. And that gets me a little bit disturbed.
All right, now, reports have it that some of the suspects have been remanded in the DSS custody. Now, what do you think is the fate of those suspects?
Yes, they have been remanded. Obviously, bails will be declined because a very serious offense. Their fate is they will wait for their trial. If it happened this year, God be the glory. If it doesn't, and if they are free, they should still keep faith alive. Olusegun Obasanjo, one-time president, who was also alleged to have attempted to also the president, the then head of state, and he was in prison and he was remanded. So it's the normal thing. A grievous offense like this, nobody should come. But I know what people will say now. They are right. The presumption of innocence as enshrined in the Constitution. No. There are exceptions to every rule. Okay. Somebody who attempts to kill the president, that is clear, not even the president, that is evident, that's look, an attempt to murder someone. And they are serious. I don't know what they have because that's intelligent. Now, there are serious allegations along that person obviously will not be granted bail. You cannot be allowed to go. He said, but that's not the Constitution. The Constitution also, your freedom. I know that presumption is what they are going to be looking at. If they grant you bail, will you be able to meet the bail condition? When they give you understand, not about the money. They may ask some very, you know what happened to Abaribe senator over the Nnamdi Kanu?
Some critical question.
You know what I'm talking about. So these are issues. So you can't meet, or it's not that they won't grant you bail. If we go to the agency, they will always put your bail out and see, look at the condition for your bail. They can't meet up. They can't meet that bail condition. That's the truth. So they have to remain there. Just keep hope alive. If they are free, God helping them, they get out of it in no time.
All right. Now, what legal standards must be met to prove involvement in a coup plot? Well, from a legal standpoint.
Yes. You see, like I mentioned, you don't just say maybe I was in the house of a coup plotter, so to say, and then I had engaged talk with them. We had some time. Make you culpable. That doesn't make me. I could be there. It's a friend. We could be friends with criminals. I could have been killed when I was in university. I was sitting down with friends. We were having a good time in the hostel. And I just had an urging to leave. It was late in the night. My then SCG president, Donald Kogbe, was in his room, and he said I should come and sleep in his room. I told him, I'm going home. I want to go home. And then it was just like that. I was with them. We were sitting together. He was in. He said I should come. I shouldn't go home. I should come to his room. I said, no, I'm not coming to your room. I'm going home. So I left. Barely 15, 20 minutes, the guys we were sitting with, they were all killed. I did nothing. A young man who came back from youth corps to see some of his friends was killed that night too. So the point I'm making is, why was I exonerated? Okay, if maybe, will you say I did something? They would have also killed me. if I was seated there. So that didn't make me, so I didn't commit any offense.
Okay.
So that I found myself in the house, I think we should,
in
the midst of those that have committed offense. I think that's where we are getting it all wrong. We should advance. I'll share a story with you now. I lost my wallet in China, and then I slept off. That was carelessness on my part. I slept off. I had some hundreds of dollars in there, you know, I just slept off. But when I realized I'd gotten back to my hotel room, I didn't have my wallet. My identities, everything, valid the documents were in the wallet. So I was confused. I didn't know what to do. But they just calm me down, relax, there's no problem. You can always get it back. I say, how? How will I get it back? And they said I should go back to the shop. I went to the optical shop. I went to get a glass then. Then from there, I went to surveillance department, and they got everything. I just saw myself coming out, and it was easy. They zoomed everything for me, saw me sleeping off, dozing off inside the car, and they saw how I moved the wallet because I was discomforted. You know, when you're relaxed, you're discomforted. I pulled the wallet and I turned to the side, and then I slept off. That's how I got off the taxi, and then the woman, the Chinese woman that picked it up, how she picked it and gave it to the husband gave it back to her, and she hands it over to the driver. So everything was picked. So we should grow beyond this back and forth. I suspect you, I'm not suspecting you. Scientific evidence
that
should be
in a
more.
place like Nigeria.
No, just forget. I thought I was here, and that's the truth. I thought, and for some time now, I think I've been a little bit careless. I'm regaining consciousness back until I get out of here again by God's grace. You know, I think that is the way to go. What I'm trying to say in essence, I'm not trying to say that this thing is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Simple technology can curb and track criminal involvement in crime. How do we, okay, you said somebody, I asked a simple question. Where is Teme Silva? Can't we reach him? Oh, it's not in the country. Okay, where is he? So you don't tell me you don't know. You cannot, because it's a disservice to others, injustice to others. You said he's one of them. Bring him. So he's looking somehow. Maybe he knows something. He wants to say something. Politics have always turned out different way. We remember a situation of somebody being accused, a deputy governor, being accused when the murder of Bola Ige. You remember that time? And what happened afterwards? From where he was all that hue and cry, he won election. He was winning a senatorial seat.
Amidst the controversy.
Amidst the controversy. We also in Rivers State, we saw a man who is governor today, was in the creek. They were looking for him. The enforcement agents were looking for him. But he won election from the creek and went to government house for immunity. So these are some of the things we are talking about. Has he answered to those things? No. But we are saying, well, they are prosecuting him. I don't do politics. I do politics with principle. I don't just get involved here and there because I belong to this political house. I have so much regard for my folks, my Nigerian leaders and all whatnot. But the point is, there are certain things you do. When you read about them or your children read about them tomorrow, it will not be good. How can a man who came out from the creek be saying he's a just man? Have you answered? I love what Ayodele Fayose did. He will say, yes, I'm here. He came out, clear me, prosecute me, I'm here. That's how a leader should do. You are an elderly man. Face your face, face whatever it is. Then you are coming from the creek now, then you are now doing battle with governor and all of those things. Anyway, that's not the talk. The question is simple. The way to go, or how around we look at it, is simple. Now look at criminals or supposed alleged persons. Where are you? How are you linked to it? Do you have conversation? Are there confessional statements made? Although some persons could confess you when you didn't do anything.
Just to get you implicated.
Just to get you implicated. Yes, it happened. Then it is the duty of the investigating team to check through, to look at time.
To link it up,
Link it up, the timing. Where were you at so time? What were you doing? You walk into a restaurant to buy something to eat or get yourself refreshed, and then somebody said you came for a meeting. Maybe you were where? You see why surveillance is important. What was your mission in that house that day? These are questions that should be asked. Not that I was there.
But do you think our surveillance system is doing enough in this regard?
It's not. There's none. There's none. I'm telling you, it's just, I think I'm an expert. I think I know. And look at your eyes. You know, most of the time when they're checking at the checkpoint and they look at your eyes, they look at you. Oh, park. You know, I was driving. I drive most, driving to Lagos a few days ago, like a week or thereabouts ago. I was going to Lekki. I just drove. I was driving. So I got to Ondo. You know, because I'm not a familiar face on that road.
Yeah.
He looked at me. Say, park. Then I parked. He said, search this man. The guy came and he said, he's a lawyer. He said, you sure? Search him. I said, come and search. See my particulars. The man said, please enter your car. I said, no, let him search. Open my boot. Let me bring my spare tire and turn it around so that he can check. It's not about you, what you are looking at. You see, criminals don't have to wear, they can wear suits like me. You know, they could. Yeah. Somebody could wear dreadlocks and it's not a criminal. I don't want to mention name, a dear friend, his elder brother, who is an enforcement, works with the FBI, came into Nigeria with dreadlocks. And he was harassed and they were taking him as a Yahoo boy. And he was watching them. When he got to their station, it was there they were now apologizing. Why are you behaving like this? I may have a different orientation. You have people wear tattoos all around. Nigeria is not a Christian country or a Muslim country. I don't know what. It was a secular country. My orientation, my perception about life may be different from yours. So I was in China, a little boy, a 17-year-old boy offered me a cigarette to smoke. In Benin, you slap him. It doesn't work that way. So people, you should understand that we are not, you know, in a religious environment where you use Quran and Bible. In as much as I'm a cleric, I'm a pastor, I would not, I know what the law says. So we shouldn't do this, and we should play by the rules. So these are some of the reasons. When you are accusing someone, do you have enough evidence to prosecute him?
I was actually going to ask that. How strong do you think the evidence
I don't think it's strong enough. Because if it's strong enough, I don't think Timi Praise will not be found.
Now, much of what you said borders on the transparency of the judicial process. Are you implying that the judiciary is not transparent enough as far as this matter is concerned?
Are they Nigerians?
From what you've said, Timi Praise Silva is absent, while the rest of the
it's not. I will excuse the judiciary now. You know why? They are not the one. They are not the enforcement. A judge will not sit. It's to adjudicate on what is before the judge. If you come to court, it's the judge will interpret what you are bringing to court. That's not where the problem lies. Okay. It could, because we have had erring judges too. We've seen that over time, you know, of giving judgment that are not worthwhile. So they are all there. But the point at this time, I can't blame the judge. So the judge have not given judgment. We've not had, okay, have you had the judgment now? This is the drama of the executive. So
whose responsibility is it to ensure that all the suspects are present in court?
Those that apprehended them, the DSS. They should come out. They have legal departments. They know what the law says. Go and get him. And let us be sure. At times, because of the slow pace of the judicial process, it could also be a distracting mechanism. I'm sorry.
So that's pointing back at the judiciary.
Obviously. The system could just be trying to play around to dazzle tension, you know. A lot of people say, oh, we want to, the NSAS was attempting to scuttle the government of the day, and then, so it could be a message. It could be a message to the people not to think that way, that, something is ongoing. I'm just talking, things happen because we have had a lot of things. You hear they want to increase the pump fare, and you say, no, Nigerians will not take it. When you hear that they are about to increase it, Nigerians start protesting, talking. After some few days, they died, and the third day they increase it. You see, things like that to test the waters. I'm just talking. But what I'm saying is, it's high time we stopped this here and there and face the real issues. The real issues that borders on national building, and see how Nigerians can be inspired. We cannot continue to live like this and expect something different to happen. Nigerians are depressed, frustrated. Every time they check the social media, they are complaining. Is that what they are talking about? You hear the skits they even put up there, to even they start talking about the president in very bad ways, which I know is the normal way Nigerians behave. He has said it that they abuse him all the time. But my love for Tinubu is absolute, because I know the Tinubu I know is different from the one that's your president now.
Well, we actually do hope that you tell us what it is that makes you love him so much.
Yes, I'll tell you, because I know back in time in Lagos when he was governor, there was a young man who was a laundryman, and he had nothing. I say, someone who you don't take seriously. At times he worship in the mosque. At some other time he runs to church. So such is not consistent. He's with all manner of card. He had a daughter. that had a hole in the heart. Then he went to the government house and then to cry, to complain. Then the magnanimity of the governor, it was just like a joke, approved 5 million for him then, that they should take his child out of the country to Israel for operation. That was remarkable. I thought it was a joke.
Wow.
How it can't happen. I took my car, I said, let's go. But before we could put things in that, the baby died. Okay, when the baby died, what did we do? We now said, okay, they won't give us, they won't listen to us again. And we went to a government house. Do you know they gave him the money? I was shocked. They gave him the money. And I know so many persons that have, I know folks will not like me for this, you know. They say I'm campaigning for Tinubu. I'm not. I don't have a card. I don't do politics. I'm just being me, you know. Now, there are people that fought him that I know in Lagos. And at some point in time, they were broke. It's the same Tinubu that went to resuscitate them. Send people to go and assist them.
And that's speaking from a personal point of view.
That's personal point of view. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I said the one I know.
Okay.
So there are some other persons that know some other things.
Some other things. Okay.
You understand? Okay, again, my very good friend Idris. You can be hearing this now, Abdul Karim. When they did bash my car, who was the person that we're talking to? It's Tinubu. That's the car bashing convoy governor.
Yeah,
and
back in the day. Yeah.
Why? What happened? Did he, you know, just imagine a military governor. You know, I love the civility of how he handles things. The idea of I'll deal with you because I'm powerful. No. He brought those boys to the government house and they all became, it's Tinubu that also started this one-day governor of children. If you are the best in your academic faith, you know, you become governor of the state for one day. And they'll parade you around to make you feel involved. I'm not saying he's the best.
Okay.
I'm not saying, I'm not campaigning for him. Nigerians can still vote him out if they wish. Exercise your voters' right and get the best for yourself. But I don't have any personal grudge against him. That is me. And against any Nigerian.
All right, fair enough. It's still this morning on ITV. We shall be going on a break now. When we return, we will be wrapping things up on this segment. Please stay tuned.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Benin Cultural Dance, a unique dance and quality dance steps of the Benin people. This dance is a vibrant mix of traditions, arts and beliefs, deeply rooted in the country's diverse ethnic groups and their rich history. The dance has artistic expressions depicting the people's history. Benin people have been famous for bronze and brass work, some of which is said to date back from the 13th century, especially ivory and wood carving. In Benin, the people dance to show respect, honor, dignity, which they honor. They dance to show royalty, as naids are seen in their numbers around their body depicting the symbol of kingship.
Welcome back. It's still TMI on Independent Television, and I still have Barrister Awo Sagi right here, legal practitioner and a clergyman. Now, what do you think this would portend for Timipre Silva going forward? How do you think this will affect his reputation and his political future?
Well, in fairness, I don't think it will affect him in any way.
Like for someone that is being arraigned for something as serious and as grave as this?
Yes. Yes, his opponent or his followers will tell you it's not true. Like I mentioned a while ago that somebody came in from the creek and is governor today. We have had precedent, so I don't see any reason why you think, oh, his reputation will be no.
Now you are hinging this on the corrupt history of the system.
Yes, but it's still an allegation.
Okay.
Are you seeing? It's not what he has not been convicted. If convicts are being celebrated when they get back home, like Onanefi Ebori, after serving jail term, he got back home to Ogara. I think the people were celebrating him. To date, he's still a very big name that you celebrate. You know, so you cannot. The Nigerians they don't operate that way. You know, they know a path that they cannot let go. So to me, Silva is a leader. He have its followers. So for you to just say, oh, he committed this, he did that. Some even will justify it and say, yes, it's because the government was not good. That's why he wanted to join them. It was because of the people. That is why he did that.
All right.
Even if he's convicted. So either way, whether he's convicted or not, he will still retain his followership. Followership is not based on principle. It's based on those that are oppressed and those that don't have a mind of their own, and majority of Nigerians are like that.
All right, I guess
that
this is
the
all
reality.
we have to leave the conversation. A very big thank you to you, Barrister.
It's always a pleasure.
A legal practitioner and a clergyman. It's been a very interesting conversation, and I hope to have you again some other time.
It's always a pleasure.
All right, it's been this morning on ITV right here in our Benin studio. My name is Harry Agboje, and it's time to join our colleagues in Abuja, Ikaro Ata, for the continuation of the program. Please stay tuned.
engagement and action here with no one than the very beautiful looking Stephanie Aka, who is the Abuja Zonal Marketing Manager for the StarTime brand. Stephanie, a wonderful morning.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be on TMI.
Yes, thank you very much. When we want to talk StarTime with Stephanie, you know you are talking with someone who've been here all through the years, very in the StarTime brand. And as StarTimes evolve and metamorphose and go into areas as part of their diversification initiative, yes, Stephanie is following through and marketing all brands. And you also know that independent television, your darling station on the StarTimes satellite platform here. Now, quickly, let's go on with Stephanie now. Let's start our conversation again with more enlightenment on the decoders.
Okay, good morning. It's always a pleasure to be on your
talk to you. Go ahead.
So, in fact, affordable digital entertainment to Nigerians, and from the past 15 years, we have been able to stay true to that mission. And active of the fact that there are so many pay TV companies out there, we continue to deliver 24 hours entertainment at affordable rates to Nigerians. And for our StarTimes decoders, we have two types of decoders. We have the antenna decoder as well as the dish decoder. Now, the antenna decoder, just like I said, is a terrestrial decoder, and this decoder is going for 17,000 naira. This decoder has 4 bouquets that come with it. We also have the dish decoder, which is a satellite decoder. Other people know it as the DTH decoder. That is the direct-to-home decoder. And this decoder is going at 35,000 naira. Now, if you have an existing subscriber, maybe you had a decoder, you have the antenna or you have the dish, but you just want to purchase just the set-top box, we have that package available for you. So if you want to purchase just the antenna decoder, this is going for 14,000 naira. Okay. And then while the dish decoder without the dish and the accessories is going for 16,000 naira.
Okay, that means within the context of usage there are some persons. But now let's look at, having discussed that, let's touch a little bit of our content for the week. What are we giving our persons who are StarTime subscribers, who are persons who are glued to hoping to get the best of entertainment, infotainment, edutainment from StarTime?
So I always like to tell people that content is king, right? You're not just buying the decoder to decorate your house.
More than that. Go when you sit and you push your handset away, or you even watch from the handset. Something.
Yeah, like so content is king and queen. Just look here, I have to agree.
That's what we're watching.
Yes, the content is king and queen, and that is why StarTimes has quite a vast lineup. I tell people that no matter what your interests are, everybody is covered. We cover every genre on our platform. So no matter what you're interested in, whether it's documentaries, TV series, sports, religious content, Bollywood, Dollywood, we have is also a very interesting series that is on. This is actually a drama series that airs fresh episodes every week on the ST Novella E+ channel. We are also going to follow by Gangs of Manila. Gangs of Manila is actually a fan favorite on the Star Times Novella E+ channel. We are currently on the season 3. So you have been following season 1, 2. You'll be very excited to also follow up on the season 3 of Gangs Manila. And this is what we have for our ST Novella E+ channels on our platform. Moving on to our Bollywood entertainment channel, we have Star Life. Star Life is actually a fan favorite as well on the Star Times network, and this is Mamnat. Mamnat is actually an interesting story about a chef. It's actually a story of resilience. Moving on, we also have Kufi. Kufi is also a fan favorite on the Star Life channel. It's the story of a little girl. I don't like to give spoilers, but you can catch fresh episodes of Kufi on Star Life channel. For our TLC channel, which is actually the lifestyle category, we have Star vs. Food. This is actually a celebrity cooking show, and if you want to learn anything, you want to learn new recipes, you can also watch on TLC. We have the Bad Skin Doctor. This is actually a dermatologist documentary series show. You kind of things like your remedies, some of those issues that come with the skin, and you can pick up some tips on this program. Moving on to the documentary aspect, I actually love this. Is actually one of my favorite channels, is the Investigative Discovery. And what is so great about this channel is that it takes you to true life crime stories, and this is the cult behind the killer. It's actually an interesting documentary series, and you can actually pick a thing or two from this documentary. We also have the Killer Confessions. Killer Confessions is actually showing also on Investigative Discovery channel. Followed by the Hunt for the Missing. This is actually also another interesting documentary series airing on Investigative channel. Now, the Investigative channel is actually a true life drama series channel, so you can catch all your true crimes there. We also have more programs.
That's from Bollywood. Yes,
we also have more programs for our Bollywood channel. This is actually called ZTV. Now, sometimes, like, we always like to pride ourselves as the home of Bollywood. We have over 7 channels of Bollywood on the Star Times network.
You grew up with Bollywood.
Sir?
He grew up with Bollywood.
Yes, we grew up with. Yes, I quite agree.
Yes. We followed Ramanda. We
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Onwa is rich in culture and traditions. The people are a mixture of traditional worshippers, Muslims and Christians. Onwa is located at the northern part of Edo State. It consists of two local government areas, that is Onwa West and Onwa East. It has a total number of 13 clans and 21 political wards, according to National Population Commission 2006 census. The population of Onwa people is put together at 251,686. The people love tradition and culture. Historically, the people ancestors in deep quest to hand down on their future children a society of love and friendship.
Going to see the president and commander-in-chief to assent a bill exiting them from the contributory pension scheme, the CPS, one that, according to them, has impoverished them beyond human comprehension. Now, some of them are going home with about 40,000 naira, 30,000 naira, some are 50,000 naira, and yet their colleagues in the military, some of them are going home with about 800 and 700,000 naira, and they are asking, why are they kept like persons made by a lesser God? Why are they left? If possible, they have not even gone to Golgotha, but yet they cry daily, Ella, Ella, lama sabachthani. And yet now it's not time for us to discuss with a retired police commissioner who will be joining us via the phone from Kano State. He is Rabiu Aladodo to share his thought, what he thinks about this contributory pension scheme that has left policemen crying, weeping, marching on the street. The last one, they marched to the gate of the Aso Rock Presidential Villa. A very wonderful and good morning, retired CP, sir.
All right, good morning, ITV.
Very good morning. Now, your colleagues are on the streets of Abuja. They've been here for over a month now protesting. Can you tell us in detail what you understand about this deep controversy that your colleagues said have kept them in abject poverty?
Yes, my position on this is what the Hausa man called Tura Take Bango. That means the retirees are at a stage that they can no longer do anything than to go to presidential villa. I'm not in full support of what they are doing, but in reality, they are fighting for our right. I am in support of such a protest, and I am not in support in one way. That means my position on this is, if it is peaceful demonstration, I am in support of it. But if there is violence, I have been telling you people, I am not in support of violence. I am in support of dialogue, peaceful
but they
demonstration.
Said, hello, CP.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
They said they've dialogue, they've appealed to Egbetoku, no result. Now they are talking to DC, and DC is not giving them result.
Listen to me. Go and ask the meaning of Tura Take Bango. That means the situation is pushing us, we are resisting, we are dialoguing, pushing us up to a stage where we reach an iron wall. From there, you cannot move. If you pursue a snake, it will run for its dear life. But by the time it reaches a barrier, a wall, it has no option than to turn back.
And fight.
And fight, yes. Although we are not fighting, we are not really fighting. I'm not after fighting. As a retired commissioner of police, I am ashamed of telling you what I am taking.
What are you taking, sir? We want to know, because tell us what you are taking. Yes, sir.
No, it's a shame.
Because some of them say they are taking 70,000, 40,000, 50,000. Why they are colleagues in the military?
My own is more than 70.
Okay.
Really, Commissioner of Police. But even if it is up to 100, what is 100,000 today? Today, ask me, Commissioner of Police.
They used to buy Masa and Suya in Kano.
Look, the reality is this. If it is true that Parliament has, actually passed this bill to the executive, somebody close to me, my belief is, if like President maybe is not aware, the way I'm looking at it, because he's a Democrat, he is looking for second term, and we have our families. If you census all of us retired police officers with our family, at least we have votes that can speak for us. You see? So I think it's a better time for the Mr. President to be informed. He might believe, but I stand on my own idea. I'm not reading anybody's, opinion. It is like he's not aware. Because something less than this issue has happened. It reaches the president, and he has assented to it. What more police? What has police done in Nigeria? What has police done? The military is out of it. SSS is out of it. Immigration is out of it. Everybody is out of it.
The senior policemen also remove themselves and abandon their orders.
Remove AIGs, and that one does not concern me much.
It should concern you, because how will Ogas remove themselves and leave others? Are they not all policemen? Why are they leading and allowing others to suffer?
Let me tell you, even though I am retired,
yes, sir,
I am looking myself as a disciplined policeman.
Even no matter how disciplined you are, those who remove themselves and cheat others is not fair.
They did not remove themselves.
Who removed them?
I think it's a system
that remove them and allow the junior ones to suffer.
And allow from Commissioner of Police
down to suffer. AIG will be cooling off, DIG cooling off, IG enjoying.
Let us not waste time on AIG, DIG.
No, we should ask them, why do they remove themselves?
Although, okay, you can ask.
We will ask, ITV will ask them.
Ask, but I don't have reason to ask. My question is, what are my entitlements? Why are my entitlements?
Correct.
Myself, Commissioner of Police, to the constable. Okay. This is my concern.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have never been AIG. I have never been DIG. I have never been IG. So why should I, rub my shoulder with AIG? Even if I'm serving, I cannot rub my shoulder with AIG.
Okay. Thank you very much, CP.
But please. Speak for us. Let us get our rights also.
What we are demanding, ITV believes in fairness, balance, and objectivity.
And tell those who are protesting on our behalf not to be violent.
Okay.
I am repeating this. In fact, being peaceful, I believe, will make the government to listen to us.
I think even the other policemen who are also trying to stop them knows that when they finish stopping them, they will also go and suffer it.
Let me tell you about those seven. They don't know that those protesting are protesting for them.
They know.
You don't know that we are dying.
Sorry.
Day by day we are dying. They are the ones coming to take over from us as a referees, and they are the ones to benefit.
CP, thank you very much, CP. We wish you all the best, and let's hope that they listen. Right. Thank you very much, CP.
Thank you.
Okay, that's how far we can go on that interview segment. The question is, why will DIG, AIG, and IG be removed from the pension scheme, and CP to constable will have to suffer and bear the brunt? What is good for the IG, the DIG, the AIG is good for the CP, the DCP, the ACP, the CSP, down to the constable. That's the fundamental truth. They are all human beings. They go to the same market. They marry wife who are all female, or married spouse female or male. They raise children with same proportion. The children also goes to school, and yet some are out of it, others are there, military out, DSS out, others out. Then why must the police be there to suffer like children born to old women? Okay, we'll leave you with that thought here. We now take you over to our Lagos Network Center, where we will be discussing about godfatherism. If for nothing, you remember what happened in Anambra State, where the governor was abducted, Chris Wambose Gige, at some point, and someone said, the godfather said, my 2 billion or nothing. Over to our Lagos Network Center.
And welcome to the continuation of This Morning on ITV. From our Lagos Network studio, I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels. Thank you for joining us this morning, a Thursday, beautiful Thursday morning. And from our Lagos Network studio, we have a lot to be talking about on politics. 2027 is around the corner and everybody's talking politics. But let's not forget about the insecurity in the country. The insecurity is getting worse. We can't be talking politics and leaving that aside, you know. But I know that my TV station here will always mention insecurity in most of our programs on TMI. Anyways, this morning we're going to be looking away from security a little bit and talk politics. And this time we're talking politics in Lagos. We'll be looking at the Lagos APC ticket and its internal politics, talking about godfatherism in Lagos, the succession of politics. I mean, who is going to succeed the governor of Lagos State now? Is he going to be handpicked, or is going to be picked by the people of Lagos State? With me in the studio this morning to do that is Bishop. Bishop is a known name, but let me introduce him again. Bishop James Okocha is here to discuss this with us. He is a political analyst. Bishop, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mama P, and good morning, Nigerians. Good to be here.
How was the trip to Jos?
Yeah, Jos, Abuja. Yeah, well, it's a story for another day because I will tell it on this studio.
Good.
You know, it was at the heat of that insecurity, you know, but thank God that we are surviving.
Thank you for traveling around to see what is actually going on in Nigeria. But let's start with what we're talking about today from Lagos. We're looking at the Lagos APC ticket and its internal political program and problems, and then looking at generally godfatherism in Lagos State. Let me ask you, how would you describe the current state of internal politics within the APC in Lagos? Are they having crisis?
Okay, to a degree of appreciation, they have been able to manage. You know, it's difficult to put people together, you know, and then no matter the squabbles, you have not heard them shouting on the street, you know, so they have been able to manage their internal differences, you know, so kudos to them, you know, because you are not seeing factions here and there doing, you know, press release and all of that, to a very high
past where the Speaker of the House was impeached. But he was brought back in a few hours' time, you know, even against the governor's wish. He was asked to come back, or let me leave the governor's side, against the members of the House, you know, because he was impeached by the members of the House.
Yeah.
But against their wish, he was brought back as a Speaker of the House of Assembly, Lagos State. So that brings us to the godfatherism issue. The term godfatherism, is it often associated with Lagos politics, or how would you define it in this context?
Well, it's not just about Lagos State. That's what plays out everywhere. Whether in politics, whether out of politics, the godfather thing shouldn't be perceived wrongly. But because of the way it is used in the Nigerian political circle, that's why some people are saying, no, there shouldn't be godfather. A godfather is one that should, I mean, like a role model, that should help you play your role well, that should help you find it easy to, you know, come across things, because he's been there probably. Understand? But we are having a problem in politics, having a godfather, because the godfather will want to have all the monies that should be used to, I mean, to do projects in the state. That's where the problem is. So having a godfather is not something, it's not wrong at all. Everyone should have a role model. Everyone should have a mentor. Everyone should have some. If you don't have someone you are loyal to, someone that directs you, someone that advises you, I mean, you are heading for disaster. So it's not a wrong thing, but the way it is done in Nigeria, that a man will come and detect even how you drink water, that's where the problem is. So in the political circle, it has not favored us here in Nigeria, because the godfather wants to be the father of all. So it is not advisable right now to promote the godfatherism, you know, beyond where it is right now, because they are not helping to put one or two together. Instead, they are pushing the governors to a point of non-performance. All right. So that's my take on that.
Okay. Well, you said it's very. It's nothing bad if you have a godfather or a mentor who you look up to, you know, but godfatherism in Nigeria has taken a different shape. So do you believe godfatherism is still a dominant force in determining political candidates in Lagos today? Because we are concentrating on Lagos.
Yes, Lagos. But let me tell you the truth. Lagos is, I mean, the ball in Lagos is a different ball game. Lagos is just one state that is unique in everything. Unique in everything. Godfatherism has played a role, serious role, especially from the time our sitting president right now becomes the governor. All right, you can see that, and you see some other states have tried that, and it couldn't work. You know, but it's been working in Lagos State. But contrary to how it's being perceived, I know there are organs. I mean, there are organs that work with that godfather in Lagos. For example, there is this they call it governance council advocates or something. You know, yeah. It's a body that balances the interests of all the local government stakeholders. All right, all the stakeholders and statesmen. They work hand in hand. You know, it's not as if somebody comes and then just close eyes and point somebody without having, you know, very serious consideration on very serious issues. For example, in Lagos, they consider, you know, you have Lagos West, Lagos East, and Lagos Central. You know, they consider this factor. Even the godfather considers this factor in Lagos. They consider religion in Lagos. Are you getting it? So there are so many things. They consider the blocs, the power blocks within the APC. They consider these things before you see them, do one thing or the other. So when you look at Lagos State, fine, the Godfather thing, like I said, I am not encouraging it in our political circle because it is an avenue of, I will say it's a distraction at times to the governor, because at times he doesn't think with his brain. You see somebody directing him like a child. But in Lagos State, it's been a very different ball game. If you ask them, they will tell you that it hasn't gone wrong. They have a plan. They have something they're working out, and the successions have been working. Sustaining the blueprint they have. So for Lagos, well, give it to them. It's working for them. But
okay,
for us,
so Bishop, if I could cut you short in here, are you saying that it's in Lagos has been a positive godfatherism? It's a good thing for Lagos to have godfather. I mean, it's working for them. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think it's working for them, because if it's not working for them, we should have seen crisis the way we see it in other states. It has not happened that way in Lagos.
But we saw the crisis with the House of Assembly of Lagos State.
Yeah, but you saw how that crisis was resolved. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think the members of the House of Assembly were happy with that resolvement?
But now you have taken me to where I want to get to. Now, those people in the House of Assembly, they were elected. They were elected to have their own independent mind, to speak the mind of the people they represent. Now, if what was done, if the impunity that was done didn't favor them, what stops them from speaking out?
So that's where the godfatherism comes in.
That's what I'm telling you. I say for them, it seems it's working for them because that you see them relaxed. Are you getting it? It seems it's working for them. But for us who have looked into, the things playing out in politics, we are saying that godfatherism in Nigerian politics is not working, it's not favoring the masses, and it should not be encouraged.
Is godfatherism necessarily negative, or it is positive? Or can it stabilize the role of party politics?
Well, this is the point I was making earlier on than before now. You see, someone has to put the people together. Someone has to put the interest together. There has to be a binding factor. But where it is a problem is because the godfathers in Nigerian politics, they cross the line. They don't just put the people together, they also put the monies in pocket. So that's where the issue is.
Well, they put the money in pocket, that's where the issue is. So, I'm not going to ask you to balance what godfatherism is really to you, because that's your opinion. You are saying it's working for Lagos State, and some other people will tell you it's not working for Lagos State. But let's move on to power and structure and the influence of godfatherism in Lagos. How much influence do political godfathers currently wield over candidate selection within the Lagos APC?
But it's absolute influence. It is absolute influence. If anybody, I have not seen anybody that has gone against the godfather in Lagos. In fact, the defection of the PDP governorship candidate back to APC, can substantiate my claims this morning.
Yeah, because he came on air to say that there's no opposition party in Lagos.
That's where I'm going. He left the APC, jumped to the PDP. Right now, he made one attempt in the PDP. Now he has gone back to the APC. Not just that he went back, he said that there is no opposition in Lagos State.
Yes.
That's why he said it's working for them. You see, he has gone back. So if you watch it, you see, nobody has gone against the
Okay,
godfather.
going back to APC and also claiming that there's no opposition in Lagos State, and then you saying it's working for them, do you think it's out of respect for the godfather or fear of what the godfather can do to you?
When I say working for them, I didn't say working for Lagosians. Are you getting it? There are classes, there are circles. For the political circle, people that do politics as business, that's what I'm telling you, that it's working for them. It might not be to the best interest of the Lagosian, because at times I saw that before the sitting governor becomes a governor, I know that Lagosians were asking for Akinwumi Ambode to continue being a governor of Lagos after having performed excellently for 4 years. Are you getting it? But against the interest of the people, because the people are there and their circle. They have their own circle. So it's working for their circle. When Ambode was yanked off, I mean, that's what pleases the circle. It might not please Lagosians, but there is a system they are sustaining.
But didn't we say government is for the people?
Fine, that is what we say, that is what we believe, and that is what it should be. But how many of the political juggernauts, how many of them have the interest of the people at heart? Man, I'm telling you that there has to be a revolution, mental revolution. Something must happen in Nigerian political circle before we can have it right. Because what is just there is that you see people who see politics as business, clamoring for political positions, and once they get there, there is nothing else they go for. It's just get and let's share, and the interest of the people is stampeded. So that's the issue. So for me, godfatherism, I said it before, should not be encouraged, because they are not just showing governors the way to do things and have it easy. They are caging. I mean, there are godfathers that will even tell the governor, you can only appoint 2 commissioners. I do the appointment for you. I do all these things for you. So it's a problem, for me.
Bishop, I mean, is it actually what the people want?
It's not what the people want. And how many of them have done what the people want? That's why I have been encouraging the people. The office of the citizen is the highest office in every country. Not the office of the president. Because the citizen elected the president. The citizens have the government. The government does not have the citizen. So the citizen can remove the government. That's why every 4 years they come to beg the citizen. Do you understand me? So the office of the citizen in Nigeria has not been harnessed. We are not using the power of that office. And we can recall political officers when they are not going by what we want. We can recall them. So there has to be this orientation to let the people know that they have so much power, as regarding how the government of the day goes.
Okay, let's look at primaries in Lagos State. Talking godfatherism, was still on godfatherism. And so, are party primaries in Lagos State truly democratic? Or is just, for the sake of it, so that Nigerians will say, oh, we had primaries. The person that is actually to become the governor has been handpicked.
Yeah, we see Nigeria, that's why the one-party system is a serious issue, because you don't do election, you do coronation in one-party system. All for the state, none against the state. Everybody's voice will just be shut down. That's how it's been. Impunity, stampeding the people's opinion, all right? It has not been democratic, because if it has been democratic, I think they should have been, okay, they should allow us to have direct election, primaries. Yeah. Do you understand? Where the people, even if it's option A, the people will come and vote who they want. And INEC should be strict about vote buying. INEC should be strict. INEC should come alive and deal with the people that that try to manipulate people's thought, during election time. They should be strict. Take away vote buying. Allow the people to hear the manifesto of the people that are contesting, and then let them vote their mind and vote their choice. Except on that, there has never been a democratic, proceedings in our primaries in Nigeria.
Wow. So we look at the grassroots. We hear politicians say, "Oh, I'm a grassroots politician." I started from the grassroots. I started from my local government. I started from my community and all that. So what role does the grassroots party members play in deciding who gets the APC ticket?
You know that the grassroots should nominate these people. In fact, everything about politics, I tell people there is no power in Abuja, no power in Aso Rock. Power is in the village. Power is in your ward. You know that the ward chairman can sack anybody staying in Abuja. Abuja is meant for representation of the interest of the people in the grassroots. So grassroots is where the power is. And then they will tell you we are grassroots politicians. Means in Nigeria, any political office holder that can go to the grassroots and start dancing with them, all right? and eat corn with them. And when they do and braid hair with them, they say I'm a grassroots politician. Is that what grassroots politics is all about? Grassroots politics is all about executing, the projects, the needs of your constituents. That's the grassroots politics. But we don't do it. So going there to dance, like I see some governors, for even in my state, a governor will come and find some group of women and dance with them and share them 1,000 naira. That kind of madness, Nigerians must not allow it in 2027. We must become alive and stand against all this kind of manipulation. When they go there, for 4 years we won't hear from them. Any weekend that come in, 1 or 2 persons will go and hang around their doors. And unfortunately, the grassroots will still find maybe yam or cassava or whatever, plantain. When they come, the grassroots people will still be giving them. Just it will snap with them. That's okay. Nigerians don't know the power we have. So we cannot continue like this. Grassroots politicians must come alive and know that the power in Abuja is coming from them.
Succession politics. Let's look at the succession politics in Lagos State. Looking ahead, what factors will determine who emerges the next major political leader in Lagos, in your own opinion?
Governor's Advisory Council, like I said, in Lagos State. That council is a very strong council that hosts the interest of all local government stakeholders. They play a role. Then the senatorial district thing, Ambode, the governor, is from Lagos Central.
The present governor.
Yes, so you have.
He's not Ambode. He's.
Sanwo-Olu.
Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah, Sanwo-Olu is from Lagos Central. So you see, Lagos West and Lagos East. The next candidate should be coming from these 2 places. And like I said, they also consider religion. And that's one of the things I see them. They have not underplayed the religious factor. So these are the factor. Then the factor of the Godfather also. So I think before the Godfather makes a decision, there are considerations. Honestly, give it to them that they don't just come up. I think the Mr. President, who is the godfather of Lagos politics.
We don't know who the godfather of Lagos politics is. We're just talking godfatherism.
Well, he is
coming from you.
Yeah, even being the president, he should be the godfather. Who is bigger than the president in a country? And moreover, in his state, he should be the godfather. Everyone should, even states that are not APC, everyone should just do obeisance to him. He's the overall godfather. That's the fact. Do you understand? You cannot. No other person can make a decision in Lagos State that is superior to the decision of the president.
Okay, let's look at accountability and governance. How are the elected officials playing in Lagos? Are they more loyal to the people or to the political figure who helped them to rise? Talking about godfatherism.
Okay, to the best of my knowledge, the people don't even call for accountability. The people even defend government office holders, political office holders, even when you ask for accountability. So the people don't even say, are they accountable? No, the people don't even talk about it because people are not even aware that they should be accountable. So they are only accountable to the system. When I say them before,
the system that brought them in.
The system that brought them in. Yeah. And so when you become a governor and then you are counting on the people's interest first, and you are not servicing the interest of the people, that oligarchy circle that produce you, you will be yanked off. And surprisingly, the people will even agree. Do you understand me? So accountability is something that we should let Nigerians know, that we should be asking House of Rep members, for example, about constituency, projects. We should be asking House of Assembly members about money given them to do constituency projects. Everything is not about Mr. President and Governor. that accountability. So we're not doing it. Local government chairman, we don't count. They only make account to the power that places them there. So no accountability as a matter of fact.
Okay, so before we leave the studio this morning, let me ask you a general question. As a political analyst, what is your take in the preparation for the upcoming election, the 2027 elections? Is INEC ready? Are the people ready? Those that are going to be voting, do you see them being ready to come out to vote? And then the insecurity that is hitting Nigeria so badly now, do you think it's going to stop people from coming out to vote, or some parts of the country might not even have elections?
Okay, why I want to make this statement is because I want the INEC chairman to hear and then do something about it. We don't come on air to criticize our country or to demoralize the people, from being patriotic. But the things we see that is making the people not to be patriotic, those are the things we are pointing out. And if the government elements would have been taking care of all these little loopholes, Nigeria would have advanced. You asked me if INEC is ready. And I'm telling you that the INEC I know of today, in my opinion, is 0% ready. In my opinion.
Why do you say so?
Yes. In my opinion, INEC is not ready. We have a few months to go for election. And you see, even when there are, before the last INEC chairman that left, the way he was, reaching out. The way he was coming up with new things and all of that. Things were happening, registration and all of that. Even though at the end of the day, Nigerians were disappointed. But at least, there was a movement. But this one is absolute calmness, quietness. We don't even know. It is only the battle with ADC that we know that there is an INEC. Only on that battle. Check all since Prof. Amipito became the INEC chairman. I have not seen a serious official statement that is encouraging, voters, that is sparking up the new fire in INEC. Everything has been centered on ADC and opposition. So for me, I think INEC should move from this and face squarely, the responsibility of INEC. They're supposed to be an umpire, not a player. So for me, they have to come alive and then prepare Nigerians for 2027 election.
Quickly, are Nigerians ready?
Nigerians are ready. But the problem I have with most of us here is that we're emotional and very sentimental. Are you getting it? Any little thing would downplay a Nigerian. Any little thing will spark his interest. So why don't we focus on those things that call up patriotism, that sparks the interest of Nigerians, than doing those things? Because already some people are saying, this kind of INEC, we're not even interested, because from the look of things, considering the last Abuja election, people are saying our vote will not count. Let INEC come and give Nigerians assurance that their vote will count 2027, and they should come out in mass and vote.
Come out in mass and vote. Elections are just around the corner. Get your PVC, and get ready to vote, to cast your vote. Your vote counts. Stop thinking your vote doesn't count. Your vote counts. Anyway, thank you, Bishop, for coming today. As always, thank you for analyzing the Lagos State godfatherism issue. Thank you for joining us out there, our viewers. And, keep watching ITV. We are celebrating 29 years in media today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Patricia Oremu Gabriels.
A very pleasant morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the news updates on ITV. I am Lawrence Osifo. We'll begin with political matters, where youths and women of Ego constituency in Edo State have been assured of massive development and quality representation at the Edo State House of Assembly come 2027. House of Assembly aspirant Destiny Ehioraboh stated this at the Secretariat of Ego All Progressives Congress APC when he declared his interest to contest for the Ego constituency seats. Joy Obaresiagmo brings the details.
Ego has not had a better representative since the time of our great leader, Paul Ongamu.
Mr. Destiny Ehioraboh said his desire to represent the people of Ego constituency is to impact their lives positively, especially the elderly. He assured the people that he would make laws that would benefit them. Mr. Ehioraboh promised to ensure that constituency allocations are judicially utilized, alleging that Ego constituents have suffered setback for years in areas of representation. Hence, he will consolidate on the achievement of Governor Monday Okpebholo.
Now is the time to choose the person that we are to send there. I am putting myself as a servant, not as a leader. I am a youth of Ego. I know where it's spending the youth. Make una beg. Make una send me go there. Let's change the narrative.
The acting chairman of APC in Ego local government area, Alhaji Victor Ihato, who received him at the party secretariat, along with other executive members, commended him for his bravery and determination to vie for political office. Some of his supporters, Mr. Wahid Suleiman, Edith Omosigo, and Emmanuel Eboba, expressed optimism that he would provide quality representation for Ego constituents, stressing that what the people need is a youth who will exert the needed energy to give meaningful governance. They said he has been empowering youth, women, and elderly as a private citizen, expressing hope that he would do more for the people if elected.
Today, 1 or 2 students, they are enjoying dividend of democracy from Destiny. So, if a man, we have to send there.
Destiny is a son of the soil, and he has really done well. I know that he's going to represent Ego very well.
He's a perfect representation. He grew up in this place, he's schooled in this place, so he understands the terrain, and he will give Ego a proper representation.
The gathering offered prayer for the success of Ehioraboh's aspiration with prayers by Chief Godwin Usi. From Ego local government area, Joy Obaresiagmo, ITV News.
And still on political matters, where a seasoned public servant, a philanthropist, grassroots politician and House of Representatives aspirant for Ego and Ikpubaoka Federal Constituency under the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC, Honorable Pius Alile, has appealed to party leaders and supporters to back what he described as his turn to serve the constituency. Honorable Alile made the appeal at the APC Ego Local Government Secretariat in Uselu, Benin City, where he outlined key promises for the constituency. Ofure Aneto has more.
Arriving with a large crowd of supporters, Honorable Pius Alile was warmly received by party leaders, ward executives and faithful at the Secretariat. Supporters, including Prince Cyril Ogboru and Director General of the campaign organization, Usasu Sembo, appealed to party leaders to support his nomination, describing him as a candidate with the capacity to deliver.
We are here to publicly support our project, Honorable Alile, for House of Representatives.
We are supporting Honorable Pius Alile. So when you go to Ikpubaoka local government, you can see his footprints. He's a borehole. You can see roads.
In his remarks, the House of Representatives hopeful, Honorable Alile, appealed for nomination and support while outlining key promises for the constituency, including provision of 40 transformers and measures aimed at improving the welfare of the people.
So how many wine? I have been in the forefront of community service, providing facilities for our people. I have given people scholarship. I have given people empowerment. I want to appeal to you, my leader.
A former Ego local government chairman and campaign team expressed confidence in his ability to provide effective representation if elected.
Pius Alile is a formidable aspirant for the position of House of Representatives.
I believe he's not the man that just talk. It's the man that actually will do something when he promises he's going to do it.
He has done so much for humanity that if with his own personal resources, so if giving the public funds to do those things, it will be easy for him to do.
From Benin, Ofure Aneta, ITV News.
The acting chairman of Ego Local Government Council, Honorable Osaro Osa Eribo, has continued to intensify developmental projects across the locality. But the second phase of the road grading exercise reaching Imwetia Street in Ward 5, Uwelu, while construction work also progresses at Obaeware, the second primary school in Ibarike. Patience Osarugua reports that the residents of the benefiting communities have commended the council chairman for a timely and people-centric intervention aimed at improving infrastructure and boosting education in Ego local government area.
At Imwetia Street, Ward 5, Uwelu, the road grading exercise is expected to improve accessibility, ease movement of residents, and reduce challenges often experienced during the rainy season. The Okaido, Mr. John of Yasui, praised Honorable Ebo for extending the exercise to the area, describing the chairman as a leader committed to grassroots development.
There are other chairmen who have done their part, but this is the best as of now. He's doing very well. He has walked across the whole 10 wards. If we have come here before, he's doing it again. God will continue to bless him. We also use the opportunity to thank the governor. It's the governor that provided this capital. We all love him.
Also speaking, a resident, Mr. Kolade Daramola, thanked the chairman for remembering the community at a crucial time when the rains are about to set in.
He did a lot for us, and the area is very all right. I so much appreciate that. So we pray that God will bless our chairman, keep on keeping him for the good work that he's doing.
In a related development, construction has commenced on a modern block of 6 classrooms with offices at Oba Ewa, the second primary school, Ewaike, as part of efforts to provide conducive environment for teaching and infrastructure across the council area. A resident of a Ewaike community, Mr. Ogene Kome Fidelis, appreciated the chairman for the project and prayed for divine strength and enablement for successful completion.
We really appreciate it. God will give her the strength where they start and so now the God will still give her the strength to the end. So we wait for the commission, what we say go commission the primary school so that we'll see tank.
Honorable Eibo said his administration remains committed to delivering the dividends of democracy through projects that directly impact the lives of the people. From Ego local government area, Patience Osaugiwa, ITV News.
And with our report, we'll call it a wrap on the news update on ITV. I am Lawrence Osifo, thanking you for watching. Up next is TMI Socials. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
The land of Onwa is inhabited by the people with common ancestry, language, religion, economic and socio-political ties. However, irrespective of their subtitle differences in language and culture, they share common traditions. The people are known for their hospitality. Onwa traced their origin to Benin Kingdom as a result for a man to find a comfortable place for living. The name Onwa was derived from the largest and longest river in the area, which is known as Onwian or Onwa. It means one who makes merry in affluence.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Ugemobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Good morning, beautiful people. You're welcome to TMI Socials. My name is Precious Fortune, and today I will be your social media guide, taking you around the streets of social media to know exactly what's trending. Now, let's look at the first story making waves on social media. The very first story we have here is a video that has been circulating online of a driver that reportedly drove into Ikpoba Hill River right here in Edo State. Now, according to eyewitnesses, efforts were made to rescue the driver, but he allegedly refused to come out. Now, let's take a look at that video. Now, that's quite a sad one. Only God can help us in this country. Anyway, let's see what people have to say on that one. This one says, unbelievable. Why is the driver refusing to be rescued? May God grant him or her rest. This one says, life is hard and people are going through a lot. Let's look at another reaction. This one says, according to news, he picked money from Yahoo Boys and the bank had issues, and the boy gave him 2 days to provide reasonable explanation for the money. Really, really sad. Let's look at one more reaction. All right, this one is from Simon. He says, so none of them can reset the driver's brain with a resounding slap. All right, so that's it on that particular story. That's it on that particular story. Quite sad, quite a sad event. Okay, so the next story making the top of our list is a story of Nigerian Minister of Power, who has come out to say that he is resigning from his position as Nigerian Minister of Power. Now, according to him, he wants to focus more on his political ambition. In a letter dated April 22nd, 2026, he confirmed his decision to leave office effective April 30th, 2026. so he can fully concentrate on his governorship ambition in Oyo State. Now let's hear what Nigerians have to say about this. This one right here says, how many times he won't resign in a year? Nigerians are quite funny with, their hilarious comments. Let's see what this one has to say. This man don't see waiting pass him. Una no go understand. All right, let's move on to another reaction. This one says, Minister of Power Bank. All right, let's see another reaction. Zulu Culture says, make in they go. We are tired of this darkness. It is affecting me mentally and financially. All right. So that is what people had to say on that particular story. Now moving on to the next story, the heat is indeed hitting seriously here in Nigeria as controversial influencer Blessing CEO is trending again. I mean, she's been trending for quite a while. She's been coming up to say a lot of things concerning her cancer journey. Well, this time around, she has come out to say that she is really sorry for all of the unnecessary drama and controversy concerning her health. Now, she has also promised to be transparent with all of her medical reports and to carry Nigerians along on her health journey. Now, interestingly, she's saying that she is willing to refund Nigerians who feel that they need their money back. So if you know you need your money back as well, maybe you should just chat her up. All right, so let's take a look at that video.
Hi guys, my name is Okoro Blessing Nkiruka. I'm popularly known as Blessing CEO, the #1 most controversial certified relationship and mental expert. I want to start this video by saying I'm sorry. I am very, very sorry. To my loved ones, to my fans, and to Nigeria at large, I want to say I am sorry. I'm sorry for the unnecessary drama and controversy surrounding my health issues. I am so sorry. Going forward, I promise to be very, very transparent with every of my medical report, down to my scan, my biopsy. Just be patient with me. I'm going to take you all on this journey, just the same way I took you guys.
Now you've heard Blessing CEO for yourself. Let's hear what Nigerians have to say about this, because they have a whole lot to say on this. Okay, this one says, the cancer you are begging God for so much, for you will have it in Jesus' name. Wow, that's quite hilarious. All right, let's see what this other person has to say. Ify Bay says, what exactly is she sorry for, since she's still claiming she has cancer? Okay, let's go on to see what other people have to say. Posh Beauty says, now wow, how person go dey crave attention this much? Waiting happen gone. All right. Okay, this one says, at EFCC, if it is to chase people spraying Naira, you would be there. But here you are, silent. You think this isn't worth your attention? All right, this one is directing his comment to EFCC. Okay, this one says, sorry doesn't mean she's going to be spared. We still want her in jail. Reaction for that one. You guys have heard from Blessing CEO. All right, we'll take our very last story on TMI Socials today, where Nigerian media personality Robbie Ekpo has opened up about a breakdown of his marriage with his wife Mayowa, accusing her of infidelity, deception, and financial strain in a deeply emotional account. Now, Ruby says he said this in an episode of Honest Bunch podcast. He said he was shocked to discover that his wife had remarried another man after more than a decade of being together. Now, according to him, he said, "After 11 years of marriage, I woke up to videos and pictures of my wife on Instagram getting married to another man." This is quite surprising and sad. Let's see what Nigerians have to say about this. This one says long distance marriage, or they were separated for 11 years. All these semantics to buy public sympathy and pity. 11 years separated from a spouse is the death of any marriage. No court will take side with you. She is free to remarry. All right, let's look at the video to see exactly what he said.
Distance marriage. Our guest woke up to videos and pictures of his wife on Instagram getting married to another man.
Up until now that I'm speaking to you, she doesn't know that I saw this message. I don't even care if he loves me or not, because waiting love do for me. Besides stress me, he isn't taking care of me as a man should. He isn't satisfying me sexually. He isn't helping my spiritual life. He isn't spoiling me. He isn't energetic enough towards any goal. He isn't anything good. Rubbish. Meanwhile, sorry I yelled again. I'm just very irritated by him, and really it's really bad that if he tries to touch me, I can scream out of irritation. Dealing with this, and then I have to deal with bad news. Now I've been coping with unsatisfying sex for almost 3 years. Stupid idiot. He's your friend. Better tell him he shouldn't dare to try to be egoistic with me. It will be the last mistake he makes. God forbid I let another man use me, whether deliberately or not. I'm 48 years old. I don't have a kid. I started going for sperm.
It's okay.
I was going for sperm tests. I see, I be Calabar man. No. Do you understand? I'm a Calabar man. I'm now hearing that she was taking contraceptives, and
How did you hear?
What? My wife traveled to Miami. Go do BBL.
Now that's quite sad. As you see in the video, he was almost going to cry. That's quite emotional. Anyway, we've come to the end of TMI Socials today. I hope you enjoyed listening and watching all of those stories. This is why we call it a wrap today on TMI Socials. Now, on behalf of the TMI crew, I'm thanking you for watching. And of course, do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.